In this video, we will learn how to correct knee valgus. What is knee valgus? Knee valgus or knocked knee is when the knees of an individual cave inward, knocking into one another, either due to muscular imbalances or genetics in people with flat feet causing the tibia to rotate inward instead of being balanced. This video will assess an individual with knee valgus. The health risk assessment for our individual is that he is a full-time student with extended periods of sitting in a chair working on assignments. Hobbies involve occasionally playing basketball and a lot of video game playtime. He lives a fairly sedentary lifestyle. The tool we chose was the overhead squat. In the anterior view, we can see that he has a left hip hike due to weak glute muscles. We can also see that his knees are caving inwards due to his flat feet. This also causes his tibias to internally rotate. We can also see that his knees are not in line with his ankles. When we look at the lateral view, we notice that there is no back arch due to the hip adductors pulling him forward, and his squat is not perpendicular to the floor due to tight hip adductors, reducing his range of motion. These also pull his knees inward because they fire more than his glutes. The corrective exercise continuum will be applied to our subject to help reduce his muscular dysfunctions to help fix his knee valgus. The inhibitory phase will focus on having the client perform self-myofascial release in the overactive muscles through foam rolling. This exercise is performed by rolling halfway down the thigh and back up towards the pelvis for 25 seconds on each leg. The muscles targeted in this exercise are the adductor magnus, brevis, longus muscles as well as the gracilis. The next phase in the exercise continuum is the lengthening phase, in which the overactive muscles will be lengthened to help release built-up tension. The butterfly stretch is a good exercise to help lengthen the hip adductor muscles. To perform this exercise, simply sit on the ground and then place the bottom of your heels together. Try bringing them as close to your pelvis as possible. Next, try putting your knees as close to the ground as possible and hold this position for 25 seconds. Repeat this 2 times. The next phase of the exercise continuum is the activation phase, which focuses on activating the underactive muscles to increase their muscular strength and endurance. This exercise being performed is the glute bridge, which targets the subject's gluteus maximus, which is a primary hip extensor. By strengthening the gluteus maximus, we can begin to create a muscular balance with the hip adductors. This exercise is performed by having the subject lie flat on their back with their knees bent at a 45-degree angle. While maintaining this position, they will then drive their pelvis upwards and squeeze their glutes. This exercise will be performed in 2 sets of 15 repetitions. The integration phase is the final phase in which we will have the subject perform a dynamic total body exercise that will help the nervous system establish proper movement patterns to promote lasting change in correcting this impairment. The exercise being performed is the jump squat. This exercise was selected because it is a total body exercise that focuses on stabilizing their torso, lower body, as well as their spine. When performing this exercise, the subject will have their muscles perform a concentric motion as they push their body off the floor, and then an eccentric motion as they come back down. As they land and move back into the squat position, they must attempt to keep their knees from going into knee valgus. This will be done 3 sets of 10 repetitions.